at Tiffin School. Tiffin has a really wonderful sixth form. Not only does it have outstanding academic achievement, a huge range of wider opportunities, fantastic careers advice, but also we believe that it should be a time of great fun and enjoyment over the 2-year period. The reason why it is so good is that there was a great mix in the sixth form, a mix of boys and girls, a mix of old and new students. 40% of the students who join our sixth form are new every year. Here to talk about the sixth form tonight, I'm pleased to hand over to the head of sixth form, Patrick Rennie.
Good evening, I'm Patrick Rennie, Head of Sixth Form, and I'm consider myself very lucky to have that job. I'll be taking you through the ethos of the school, some of our aims, and some of the ways we help our students to succeed. So I'll be talking first. I'll then hand over to Ms. Hughes, who will talk about the induction process and support for students, and then Ms. Varley will talk about how we can support students with their future careers and interests. So here are vision statement: engage, aspire and excel. And what I'm going to do is talk through how we actually allow our students to do those 3 very important things. First of all, love of learning, academic excellence, and very importantly, scholarship. We are fortunate that we attract brilliant teachers, and they're all specialists, so all your subjects will be taught by people who have the correct qualifications for teaching that subject. It's an unashamedly academic environment, although we're not an exam factory, but more of that later. Assessment feedback is excellent. The grade results are obviously very, very good. And it's not just the basic grades that our students achieve, it's the fact that we add value. So our students achieve significantly higher than would be expected from their GCSE results. I mentioned it's not all about exams, although clearly results are key to what we're aiming to do here. There are lots of other things that we try and encourage in our students: curiosity, open-mindedness and creativity. There are obviously difficulties at the moment with the current situation, but there are so many clubs and societies, and they're largely student-led. Our students are very self-directed and very self-motivated. We have an enrichment program for year 12. Trips and speakers. Obviously the speakers are remote at the moment, and trips limited, but this is just now, and we hope to get back to the fantastically rich offer that we would normally offer. Supercurricular opportunities. Supercurricular means within the subject, but way beyond the specification. And one of the best examples of that are the end-of-year research projects that our year 12s do after their summer exams, where they independently, but with the help of a mentor, a teacher mentor, carry out what in effect is university level research, and then they produce the project, and then they undergo a viva, where they present the project to teachers and other colleagues and answer questions on it. And it's just superb preparation for later life and feeds brilliantly into their UCAS applications. We want our students to be independent and confident and self-directed, and we're not a rule-bound place. We much rather have relationships, and we want to encourage our students to develop the study skills that will help them at university and beyond, independent learning. I think it's important to say that our first instinct is to trust our students, and that trust is repaid. So as they go through, they gain more and more privileges, so they're allowed to leave the site when they're not having lessons. We've got a brand new gym just about to open, they'll be able to use that, and sixth form centre. They can develop themselves through lots of extracurricular activities. Hopefully they'll be coming back soon. Duke of Edinburgh competitions, challenges. It's just an almost endless list. And of course, at all times, they have the support of the tutors, the subject teachers, and very importantly, their peers. It's great that so many students here are aspirational, but also like-minded. It's seen as a good thing to be really interested in the subject. It's not being a geek, it's talking about it, and it's a very intellectual and cooperative environment. Empathy, generosity, and respect. As Mr. Gascoigne said, it's a very, very diverse sixth form with a mixture of students who've joined us from other schools, our own students, and obviously since last year, girls. So I think that's very important as an environment, again, in preparation for what will lie ahead. The tutor groups are very cohesive, opportunities to help younger students, albeit remotely, volunteering, and we run a charity committee, and we have regular mufti days, etc. Participation, commitment, leadership, and responsibility. Again, so many opportunities. There are so many ways in which you can take a leadership role, participate, and show long-term commitment. Again, the extracurricular, you can run clubs and societies. The house system is at the heart of the school. It's taken seriously and as competition, but it's reasonably good-humoured, and we have house officers, etc. We have the school council with sixth form representatives. We also have a separate sixth form committee, and really, really, really great is the prefect system. We could not run this school without our fabulous prefects, and they really do take positions of responsibility and allow us to do what we do. I'm now going to hand over to Ms. Hughes, who will talk about, as I said, induction and support.
Good evening. I think one of the most important things that I can talk about and only reinforce what Mr. Rennie said was how this is a new start for all students. It doesn't matter whether you are an existing student at the school or you're new to the school, we treat everybody the same. And as Mr. Rennie said, 40% of our sixth form students are from 41 other schools, and that's kind of really significant in the body and the makeup of the school. But one of the things I think that we truly value is the support that we give the students from a pastoral perspective. One of those things is the induction program that we run. So we initially offer a Holders Day in July, which is a food and drinks and getting to know other students who might potentially be coming to the sixth form. We also run an induction day in September over at our school field, and you'll see below pictures of our students at GRIS involving sort of interactive activities, getting to know your form group. It's fantastic fun and the students really engage with it. On top of that, we run a personal tutor program, not dissimilar to university, where the students have lots of one-to-ones with their tutors, an opportunity to monitor their progress, set targets for what they want to achieve for the coming term. They have progress reviews every half term where they receive 2 landmark assessments to see how the students are really progressing, and then we can set targets accordingly. And alongside that, we have parent consultations too, so there's an opportunity to engage with the parents on your son or daughter's progress. A-level choices. As you can see, there's a huge list of A-level choices available. Most students here study 3 subjects, although if you are a further mathematician, you will study maths, further maths, plus 2 other subjects. And for those of you who are particularly minded to study 4, we do allow students to study 4 as long as they achieve an average of 8.25 in their best 8 GCSEs. And I'd like to point out that we are very open-minded about how students engage with that at the beginning. So if they start on 4 but they're not 100% sure, we do give opportunities for students to change in the first few weeks. I'm now going to hand over to Ms. Farley, the Head of Careers.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I just thought it was a good opportunity to say a few words about choosing A-level subjects, because I feel like this can be quite difficult for people to do. It does feel like an important decision, and whether you're an existing student or whether you're considering coming to Tiffin, it's just nice to have a bit of guidance and advice, I think. So I just wanted to start by talking about the importance of enjoyment and kind of independent motivation for your A-level subjects. I do think that at A-level you have more independence with your learning, you have more study periods, and there is a bit more to do yourself. So it's really important that each student has the motivation, whatever it might be, to study the A-levels that they have chosen. So my advice on this really is to find out what the courses actually involve. This time of year and the first few weeks of year 12, I quite often do see students who want to change their A-level subjects, and sometimes that is certainly possible. But the more you can do to make an informed choice earlier on, the better, really, so that you can just settle into the sixth form and be happy with your options. So I would say that it's important, whether you're coming here or you're considering somewhere else to go, and to just find out what those courses involve. So there's a course guide on our website, but also in the other open evening resources, there are lots of subject talks. And the more you can find out about what you're getting into, hopefully the better informed you'll be, the better decision you'll make and the happier you will be. That's the hope. So don't make any assumptions that if you are studying French GCSE, it's going to be the same at A-level. Make sure that you find out actually what it involves and make your decisions from there. It's also important to try and go your own way and not be too influenced by what other people are saying. By all means, have a chat with people who can maybe give you sort of their take on things. But in the end, I do think it does need to be your decision, because when it comes to exam time or when we're doing landmarks or when you've got a study period, ultimately it's you who needs to do the work, and no one else is going to be able to step in at that point and do it. So do make those choices your own as much as possible. In terms of aptitude, I think the main thing here is just to feel confident going into your A-levels that you do have a solid foundation of skills for the subject that you are going to do. So there are minimum grade requirements for particular subjects at Tiffin, and it is going to get more advanced. So if you already study a subject at GCSE, that's a level 2 qualification. A-levels are a level 3 qualification. So it's really important that you feel confident that you have the right skills, and maybe have a chat with your subject teachers if you're unsure about your ability to step up to that next level in that particular subject. In terms of what it's leading to, I think actually this is something that students can often be overly concerned with, because choosing 3 or 4 A-level subjects actually gives you a lot more flexibility than you might think. And normally, pretty much any combination of 3 or 4 A-level subjects keeps a lot of options open. It's quite uncommon now, I think, to sort of choose a career and plan everything around it. And I think at this stage in year 11 and even in the sixth form, that's quite a risky thing to do, because your interests can keep on developing, and also the world of work and university is developing. If you make a decision too early, you might miss out on some other exciting things that come along the way. So I suppose our approach generally is to try and keep as many options open as possible. And if you have got career ideas, to make sure that your subjects are kind of well aligned for progressing with those if you want to, but also that they do give you other things to go on, and that they are authentically the subjects that you would choose anyway, not subjects that you have chosen for a specific career and only for that reason. So it's fine to kind of close doors on subjects that you're not that bothered about, because it's unlikely that you are going to use them later on. Lots and lots of people won't use their A-level knowledge at all. Maybe they'll choose a completely unrelated university course and career. What all A-level subjects will do is develop skills. And, if you study Spanish, that gives you things like cultural awareness. It gives you obviously new language skills, which are a valuable addition to your CV. It gives you the skills of analysing literature, analysing meaning, and skills of communication. And, I'm sure you can think of 100 different jobs and industries in which those kinds of skills are going to be really useful, even if they're really nothing to do with Spanish in terms of the actual work that you do. So you don't need to decide on a career. My advice would be to trust that it will lead you the right way if you make an informed and an authentic decision. So don't make any assumptions. The next point is about university requirements, and my plea here really is just to check the facts. I feel like the most common misconception is to do with the A-levels that you need for medicine. Many people would take biology, chemistry and maths because they think that's the best combination for medicine. But actually, in all cases, 2 science or maths subjects, and that could be a combination of chemistry and biology or chemistry and maths, for example, will give you access to medicine. So you can definitely take a third subject that is completely different, completely unrelated, and quite a few medical schools will explicitly say on their website that they don't care whether or not your third A-level is a maths or science subject or not. So just make sure that anything you think is true, you've just made sure that it is true. In terms of further guidance on making choices, there are some resources on our Open Evening site that you can use. There's one on A-level choices, there's one on subject choices for medicine, just because it is such a common thing for people to make assumptions about. If in your school you have a careers advisor, it's a good time to make use of them to discuss what you're thinking. And obviously, if you come to Tiffin, we've just started those appointments now. And it's a good time to just do a bit of research on your options. It seems always a bit weird at this point to be talking about students leaving school, leaving the sixth form, but obviously that's something that I have a lot of involvement in and that parents and students are often interested to hear about. So I just wanted to let you know that we have a very experienced team at Tiffin. The sixth form leadership team, all of the tutors, subject teachers and myself, we all work together really to support students in what they want to do after Tiffin and trying to give them the best chance of getting to where they want to be. We're very experienced in helping students go off to the most competitive courses, the most competitive universities. We have a lot of experience with things like supporting students to write their best personal statements that they can. We do things like mock interviews. So there's a lot on in terms of helping students to progress. We take a bit of a coaching approach. So we're not going to tell students what to do. We don't do it for them. It's really important that what we do is help students to work it out for themselves. Really, when they leave Tiffin, they need to know how to manage their careers and move on, rather than us having helped them to get there and then be a bit stranded with the next step. We are up to date, so we refresh our knowledge regularly. We encourage students to consider emerging opportunities, for example, degree apprenticeships, and we also arrange careers talks in a wide variety of areas. So recently that's included things like animation and visual effects, tech startups. We look at kind of areas of growth as well as more traditional pathways. You can see the Tiffin destinations on our website if you're interested to know where our students go to university and what to study. And the whole of Year 12 and into Year 13, we're providing opportunities for students to explore their interests so that by the end of Year 12, hopefully they have an idea of what they might want to do next and can start to work towards applications in that area. So we do our best to broaden horizons. We signpost them to events, lectures, work experience, books, podcasts, and that hopefully helps them to just find out what actually does float their boat for the next step. And in terms of other opportunities that we offer, we do trips or virtual visits. So last year we took students to both Oxford and Cambridge universities, for example. We run progression activities. We go to the UCAS exhibition, the Cambridge and Oxford Student Conference, the National Apprenticeship Show. So I really do look for a lot of opportunities for students to experience to help them. So I hope that's given you a bit of confidence and a bit of an overview about how we help students to move on to great things. And now I'm going to hand back to Mr. Rennie just to conclude the talk. Thank you.
Hello again. If I could just show you these, and these are genuine and freely given, no money changed hands. I'd also recommend that you take the time to have a look at the Meet the Students video, which is on this website. So what to do next? As I said, do go onto the links to all the academic subject videos and the student meet and the school tour. Actually, I'm very pleased with them. There's lots of stuff on the website about the course guide and prospectus, admissions policy. I'm not going to go through all that now. A very important point, if you're a current Tiffin student, you do not need to apply. You automatically will progress into the sixth form as long as you meet the entry requirements. If you're from another school, there's a link to the online form on the website. It's quite easy to find. And the deadline for applications is the 18th of December, which is the last day of our term. The minimum requirement to gain a place in the sixth form is a total point score of 54 or higher for your best 8 qualifying GCSEs. The subjects don't matter as long as they're qualifying, but you do need a 5 in English language and a 5 in maths. If you go onto the website, you'll see there are also subject-specific grade requirements for subjects like psychology and economics. So you apply, and then we will contact your schools if you're an external applicant and ask for predicted grades after Christmas. They'll be sent to us, and we'll then use that to rank students, and they're ranked on the best 8 average. And then we'll sending out invitations, hopefully. We'll see. We managed to do all this remotely towards the end of last the life cycle, February, March, to actually come into the school, meet students, have a tour of the school, and have a chat with myself and or Mr. Gascoigne. And all that remains to be said then is summer coming up. Let's smash those GCSEs, get the very best grades you can. So that's me done. I would just like to say thank you for taking the time to listen. And I do hope that you do think about coming here, because students are extremely welcome. I'm now going to express my deep gratitude to the sixth form students who've helped set all this up, because it's way beyond my capabilities. So thank you, Tristan and Cajun. And I'm now going to allow Tristan to do his last little bit of magic and finish it all off. Thank you very much for listening.